So we open with Nene whining that she ain't getting no money for gifts, and now the little Real Housewives babies thing. You signed on to a show that doesn't get residuals. Baby, that's your fault. So Nene says I was the blueprint, the young woman, fun woman married to an older man, and Crystal was like, "Oh, that was me too." Girl, now you don't like it when people call you a child bride. But Nene owns up to her he got me out the strip club. She never feels like she's being portrayed as who she is, ever. So who is Nene Leakes? Crystal says, well, you're obviously the shade queen. And Nene says, I think that would be Cynthia. A comedian, a true comedian. Then why hasn't she found success being funny? Really? Nene, a comedian? I'd consider her a joke, but not a comedian. Nene said the show did make her better at her reading and her quips. And Cynthia said, yeah, Nene fucked up white refrigerators single-handedly, and she did. Crystal said it's so amazing it's not rehearsed, unlike you. You couldn't be interesting rehearsed, Crystal. We're asking about Nene Leakes in high school. She's in her 60s now. Why do we need to hear about 40 plus years ago? 50 plus years ago? Nene won most talkative. Oh, this episode, I'm pretty sure I won best dressed too. No, the F you didn't. Best dressed? Your homely ass? Cold shoulders weren't in the 40s. That's when you graduated, right? The 40s? Were you a World War II or World War I graduate? I forget, Nene. Oh, God, Crystal got class clown. Class ass. The fact that you still on here whining, I was violated by sudden strike. She didn't knock on the door. You didn't lock it. No one wants to see your vagina. So Nene says, I can watch reality TV now, which I rarely do, and tell when somebody's trying to make a catchphrase. I think it's annoying that you say you rarely watch reality when that's where you come from. Like, I don't want to hear how much you don't watch television and how much you don't keep up with it. Know about the topics at hand or talk about something else. Oh, I can't help but think when I hear Cynthia say stop trying to make fetch happen that I was part of the revival of that phrase. And then we get into how labels from the audience can kind of stick and affect how you act on the show. For example, Cynthia with the friend contract and being a lapdog, crap dog. So we go over how Nene was an actress and she used to show up in LA for pilot season. This ain't new information. So we go through her TV resume and she loved doing Broadway the most. And she said, I was the first of the reality girls that kicked open the door for everyone else. Oh, okay. I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit where credit due. You were the first. You were the first. You did Cinderella. You did Mama Morton. I didn't get any Tonys, but neither has anybody else. But you were someone to get the housewives on the map like that. I will tip my hat to you, madam. T.S., madam. So, because Nene's son is dealing with the heart transplant, she wasn't able to do Traders. She said the check was big enough, I just couldn't do it. She won't do Celebrity Big Brother, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't do it either. She doesn't like people to call her Lanithia. You had to go to school with her for that. Call her Nene. Or I call her Nene. Nene. Because Nene was that girl that had the original nose. I don't know who this heifer is. This is Nene. Nene gonna say, I didn't have a MySpace account when I was growing up. They didn't have the internet when you were growing up. The internet came around when I was growing up. You were grown, gray ass, and stripping. By that time, you didn't get a Facebook because you weren't in college. You were in the club. You had your own coot by then. Girl trying to fudge the timeline. I didn't have a MySpace when I was a kid. Of course not. They didn't have the internet. She said in the beginning comments bothered her, but now she don't give a shit. She said if you're not important, they would not be talking about you. So welcome it. Fair. That's right. I'm important because they sure do be talking about me. And I mean, as a heifer who drags them on the regular, I'm dragging your performance on a TV show. I am not dragging you. So we should be cool. Oh my God, people will call their phone. There is no way I feel like, don't you think that will go wrong? Just calling somebody's phone to say, hey. I know you'd be pissed off. That's playing on a black woman's phone. That's stupid. That's grounds for a slapping. Now we get to what's Nene's favorite gif of herself. Oh, so I found out they gave them. So we find out they gave them their taglines back in the day. I don't keep up with the Joneses. I am the Joneses. They gave that to Nene. And they gave Cynthia, I know how to work it and be seen. So they have them do like 3 or 4, and they always pick the one they want them to have. Well, I figured as much. She loves scripted because scripted is where she started, but reality pays. What's your dream role? My dream role is croissant. Since she does comedy so well, she wants something more dramaful, more dramatic. Oh, God. You want your turn as Mama Rose, Gypsy? Or do you want to play Coretta Scott King? She said doing comedy's easy. Then why don't you get in one? Why don't you get in one? Why don't you do a comedy since it's easy, like Sunday morning? She's a beauty and she can be funny. Crystal, why are you sucking up in these ugly beige flats? Oh, God, you had a comedy tour where you made fun of a woman being sexually assaulted and they damn near had to cancel it. Least we forget, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh, yeah. Then we get to talk about Peter, and Nene says they were frenemies, and one day she saw Cynthia gather Peter, and she knew she'd be all right. I mean, the government's gathered Peter, too, away for 18 months for tax fraud. Child, Peter made sure that the men were on the map. He got them checks because they wasn't getting paid. They got paid to come to the reunion. She said when everybody had a man in Anguilla, it was good. Ooh, is that a dig to Kenya, or was Kenya with Annie Batty, Walter? Ah! Oh my God, Nene said, even Kenya. Ooh, 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 let me show you that face. Ooh, even Kenya. Oh. You know what the worst part about being on the Housewives is? If you have a bad, year or 2 of dating, it is immortalized forever. And then you got to find a man that wants to be on this show with you. Oh, but look at that smile. Look at that smile. After even Kenya. Oh, my God. Even Kenya. Even Kenya. Nene. I haven't wanted Nene back in a minute. I want Nene back now. Even Kenya. So that was Gone with the Wind Fabulous with Walter. Okay. So they asked Nene, are you going to stay in Atlanta? And she says, yeah, my kids are there. And then they ask about the Nene Leakes show, and she said, I didn't plan on doing it. I was doing me and my homegirl. But like I said, because Sierra dropped out at the last minute and Nene's name was on it, she was going to owe the camera crew money, so she had to go on and do the show by herself. That's why she did it. She was forced. And I called it. They had sisterhood and sister vibes, and Nene was great to work with and wasn't a diva, but is a worker bee. Okay, Cynthia. I guess you want to be on the same Trader season as Nene. Nene. She said, my one regret is stuff with my oldest son, and me and Greg talked about the divorce too much to end up getting back together. I wish we hadn't shared so much. Nene said season 5 and 6 were her favorite. This was maybe not the most interesting interview, but it definitely felt good to have Nene and Cynthia together. Cynthia had better questions than Nene had questions, but I feel like Humble Brag has better producers. Nene still needs a better producer and maybe a co-host like Crystal, but it definitely gave Old Housewives, which is what this season didn't, and it was good to go down memory lane and reminisce. She doesn't feel like the new girls are stars or household names. That's giving Sunset Boulevard. So Nene's like, I was friend for a season, and Cynthia's like, no, you weren't. She damn near was, because they punished her for ripping that guy's shirt. She didn't come on for half a season, so she damn near was a friend. But she's like, I don't know if I, Nene Leakes, the starter, could be a friend of the show. Me, Nene. Okay, girl, we get it. You still full of yourself. Oh, God, Nene's dating life, child, I don't care. All right, that was the shit. I'ma see you soon for something. I guess Miss Juicy on Carlith King.